Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Club Live here on Club at 22, the Rangers podcast. We are back. Rangers are back. Yes, it's the break from the much-needed break we needed from Rangers is now over. We need to return to it. We are live tonight on YouTube and on X. Get yourself over to the YouTube channel, though. Get yourself subscribed and get yourself involved in the live chat tonight, as there's always stuff to talk about. Being a Rangers fan, that is for absolute sure. I am Scott Carney, and joining me tonight, first of all, is Ali Pearson. Ali, did you enjoy your break away from Rangers?
Yes, I think. I know they're back tomorrow at Ibrox. I see Scotia's in the comments there as well. Hello to Scotia from Zadar in Croatia. God knows what state he'll be in right now, but that's where he is having a beer. I know. I don't like international breaks. You know that, Carney. You're the same as me. Talking about Scotia, I know Scotland get 4 points out of 6, which is probably what they were looking for in their qualifier. A couple of our guys were in Euro duty as well. A couple of good performances, some guys as well. So Rangers back tomorrow. It's massive, Carney. It's, if we talk about winner bust every week, but tomorrow for me, if I don't see anything under this Russell Martin team tomorrow, that's it for me.
Yeah, we'll get into all that. Positive start and all that, Alistair. And Ross McLean. Ross, how are you?
Good evening, Jets. How Scotia pulled that one off? That's ridiculous. Honestly, I hope he's having a good time out there. I'm sure
he's probably getting better Wi-Fi in Croatia than he does in his housemate, to be fair.
No, that's a good point. That's a good point. Scotia, get on the pod, mate. We miss you.
Oh no, don't want him on the pod now, mate. Trust me.
No. I don't know why. Why is
what time's it over there? Is it 9 or 10 at night over there?
He's in his holiday. Yes.
Tell you what, we'll leave him to it. But it's good to be back. It's very good to be back. International duty is done. The league is back for better or for worse. We shall find out very shortly. But yes, it's good to be back as always.
Yeah, we will find out, mate. Yeah, we will. There's obviously quite a lot to get into. Obviously, the main talking point being Nico Raskin just now, with Russell Martin confirming that he will not be in the squad for tomorrow's game against Hearts at Ibrox. Now, he did train with the squad. There was pictures put up as well about preparing for Hearts, as the social media team of Rangers like to do, and Nico Raskin was in one of the pictures, so I think you can take from that he is indeed training with the squad. And I'm kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place just now, because there's some things I'll say tonight that will please people. There'll be some things that I'll say that won't please everyone, because everybody wants to set fire to Russell Martin and the whole regime, which I do. But this situation as it is, I'm going to try and somehow play devil's advocate in between the middle of it, because there's a lot of unknowns that we don't know, and obviously the ridiculous WhatsApp rumours that are flying about and this and that people, my granny's dog took a pee outside Ibrox training stage, Rangers training system, seen this and why, a lot of nonsense, man. Don't believe any of that, I really don't. But the fact of the matter is, Ali, that he will not be involved in the squad tomorrow. Now, there's a number of things, mate. As soon as it was released, I was like, that's not great. And then obviously things start to unfold a little bit. You start to try and look at things on both sides of the matter. We don't know the full story. We don't know how Raskin has acted. We don't know how Russell Martin has acted for that in that case. But there's so many ways to look at it. However, what's very clear, I think, from Russell Martin is there's a trust issue there with Raskin, and the fact that he mentioned that he has to build trust back up with his squad indicates to me, again, looking from an outsider, reading between lines and whatever, that he's not just pissed off Russell Martin. He seems to have pissed off a few of his teammates, maybe even one of the leadership groups that are within the dressing room. What is your thoughts on this fiasco, Ali?
After listening to Thelwell's interview the other week, I honestly thought they would sit down last couple of days, shake hands and go, right, what's best for Rangers is Nico Raskin playing for Rangers, because he's our best number 6 at the moment, and he obviously went out and played with Belgium, scored a goal as well. So that's what I thought, and I thought he would come in his interview to say yes, he is in the squad for tomorrow, and he's not come out and said it. And it's difficult, Carney. We don't know what goes on behind the scenes. And then the difficulty is Russell Martin's had such a bad start to his Rangers career that things like this just don't help. And there's, as you say, there's folks setting fire to all sorts. But then we don't know what Nico Raskin's done. And what you said there in terms of he has to earn the trust of the team again. But I agree with you. Seems as if he's upset not just Russell Martin, but the team. So if that's the case, then as we've said, no player is bigger than Glasgow Rangers, and you need to be disciplined if that is the case. Like I said, we don't know. I mean, Barry Ferguson, Al McGregor, all those years ago, Karen, you remember that, how Walter dealt with them. But again, we don't know what's happened with Raskin. It's a difficult one. But he didn't say that's him done. He said he's training with the squad, but he's got to regain the trust of the players and the manager. So you've got to think, Russell Martin's the manager, so he's got to lay a marker down. If Raskin is disruptive in training and going above the manager's head, he's got to lay a marker down, because if he doesn't, then other players will just do the same. So it's a difficult one because we don't know what's going on. As a fan, as a Rangers fan here, I want Raskin in the team because he's one of our best players and he plays the six brilliantly for us. But we don't know what's behind the scenes. So it's a difficult one to sit here and go, you can give your opinion, but we just don't know because we're not there day in, day out behind the team.
I'm trying to take out my opinion of Russell Martin currently in terms of him believing that he's the Rangers manager in this situation. I don't think Russell Martin should be the Rangers manager. You've all heard me saying that. I still firmly believe that. I still firmly believe that, that he shouldn't be the Rangers manager. However, with this situation, Ross, not that I'm definitely not giving him the benefit of the doubt, but he's now made this decision though, and he's made a point of saying about the trust thing, and he's made a point about he's not in the squad, which makes me think that it's more serious than just a wee. I'm probably making it. I'm mounting out a molehill. It's not more serious, but Russell Martin feels like he has to prove a point, as Ali says. Whether you like the manager or not, we'll say it, and we've all said it. There is nobody bigger than the club. Absolutely no one. The only one that came close to it from all of us in our generation was Walter Smith. That's the only guy that we would say was a guy that was bigger for the club, because he was an emblem for us. He was a figurehead for us growing up. So. And I'd say just an unbelievable legend. What you have to remember as well, Ross, is with all due respect to Nico Raskin, he's not even close to being a Rangers legend. And if we want to put the cards firmly on the table, yes, I believe Raskin, we're a better team with Raskin in the squad, but he's not been fantastic. Neither's anybody in the team, mind you. Like, it's not as if anybody in the team, but he isn't one that I would say has been a standout performer for us this season. We've maybe seen 2 or 3 other players in the squad that have performed better than him that I think we would have a discussion about before we get to Raskin. So again, mate, it's a difficult one to try and pin on anybody, I think, and I know it sounds a wee bit like I'm sitting on the fence, but I did find myself thinking after it had settled initially, when I seen it, I went, that's it, I'm going to set fire to the Russell Martin bin even more. I did think, well, hang on, we have to think about this here. Has Raskin overstepped the line? Is Russell Martin going, not a chance, I am the manager, then I'm the head coach, I'm the guy that has the final say, you're not going to speak to me like that, you're not going to have the actions. And then they mention about trust. It's a difficult one to find where you sit on it. Well, for me anyway. What do you think, Ross?
Oh no, it is, and I wish there was. I know that there's only so much they can give away. There's the word I've been using is cryptic. I genuinely have no idea what they're referring to in terms of the debacle. I wish there was some sort of inside knowledge. As you say, the WhatsApp rumours, they'll be coming and going like Borna Barisic, but nobody actually knows what it is. Nobody, and again, we'll maybe know one day. But Raskin do I seem as being that guy to, go out his way to, if he's disrupted the dressing room and it's acknowledged, do I see him keep doing it? Probably not, to be honest. Don't get me wrong, he's not the most experienced player in the squad in terms of his age, but he's at an age where, he's level-headed. I mean, don't get me wrong, all the lads will be level-headed, but like Raskin, he's been about the club for a while. So it must be something, quite significant, and that's where I think you're probably right to play a bit of devil's advocate. I'm not saying that I've now got my Russell Martin pajamas on and I'm gonna fly the flag for him. That's not where I'm going. But you do almost need to look at it in the case of, right, there's been 2 weeks in between this. There's been 2 weeks of breathing in between it, and yet it's still going. So it must be something significant. So if anything, if that is the case, and if it is, if it does mean that Raskin's out the squad, maybe it just needs to happen. Like, as much as I'm a firm believer putting the team first, regardless of, and I'll probably contradict myself. Regardless, you need to put the team first because we go a few weeks down the line, lads, and we are points ahead that potentially couldn't have, it shouldn't have been the case. I do think Raskin's a difference maker for us. We could look back and go, right, if Raskin was in the team, we could have, had more points here. But as you say, he's a manager. If the manager was getting pushed about too easy, we'd be complaining about it. And if he's putting in, this bit of discipline, there's still gripes there, but we almost need to accept it in a way. He is the manager at the end of the day. So it is, there's you can play both sides of it, and it's the sort of conversation you'd have all day long until we figure out what it actually is. That's the one thing that, again, we might hear it one day, but until we know what it is, unless there's just been a rather bad game of FIFA, hands have been flowing, we don't know what's happened, you never know what's happening in the background.
Smash the controller.
honestly, Ockenhowie doesn't know what's hit it, and but we'll find out one day. But for now, we just need to sigh because it's more off the pitch news that was not needed over the international break. I mean, we'll come on to it. One of our players scored 4 goals. 4 goals in a game. That mind blowing stuff. And yet, whenever you sent that message into the chat last night, mate, I was just size all around. Raskin not in the squad, just big size. So yes, it's frustrating, but as you say, mate, you need to look at both sides of it because at the end of the day, the guy's a manager. He might have a bit of a point.
Yeah, and I'm going to be hypocritical here as well of what I'm saying, and I have my opinion on Russell Martin, and that's not changed in terms of him being the continuing on as head coach for Rangers. But in this whole situation, I just think I'm going to presume a thing that both parties are not innocent. I believe they're probably both at fault, and ultimately Russell Martin's the one that's decided, right, well, I'm going to put my foot down a little bit here. I can see why he's done that if that is indeed the case. If he's decided, no, right, we'll come back, right, we're all friends, everything's all made up. However, the way that Raskin acted, whatever way it may have been, if he felt it was strong enough to say, you're going to sit out this game because of that, then you've got to back that. Unfortunately, he is the head coach. He's the guy that makes these decisions, whether I want him to be or not. Do you know what I mean? So you've got to kind of take that sheer hatred that everybody seems to have for Russell Martin off and get rid of everybody just wants him sacked. But again, in saying that, this is where I'll be hypocritical. See if we get beat tomorrow and Raskin doesn't play, there is literally no comeback for the guy. He's put all these eggs in this basket here to think, right, well, I think we're good enough to go and beat them without you. Again, I'm not saying that Raskin would have been a difference maker, but we all know, I think we all agree on the pod anyway, we would rather see him play than Rothwell, because Rothwell's not done it for any of us, so we would rather see him. But the fact that he has done this, if he gets it right, we win tomorrow, this will all disappear. I'm pretty sure it will just fade into the background and Raskin will walk himself back into the squad, probably appear on the bench. Next thing he'll be starting games. Do you know what I mean? That's the kind of way that it'll go. However, if it goes wrong, it's just it's another big stick for everybody to pick up and beat Martin over the head with.
Oh, if it goes wrong tomorrow, the noise at Ibrox will be turned right up. And you heard the majority of the fans, and we were at the Old Firm and a couple of weeks ago singing the Raskin song. They'll be singing it again tomorrow. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure the UB will be starting it tomorrow to tell Russell Martin that we're behind Nico Raskin. We want to see them in the team. Like I say, just selfishly as football fans, we want to see him in a team because he's, like, as I said, he's one of our best players. And at the moment, we are not performing well as a football club. He's the best number 6 for us in terms of the ones we've got. As you say, Rothwell looks like a guy's blowing out his arse. Conor Barron, I think, has done well when he came in against Celtic, but you thought Raskin could come back. Maybe him, Diamande, and Asgard could be the 3 in there potentially. So it's disappointing, but if he gets it wrong tomorrow, so that's why I keep saying it, and we talked about it last week, Carney, tomorrow, and it's mental saying it, game 5 in the league, but tomorrow is massive for him. Not only just about winning the game, but he's had 2 weeks really to prepare for this game. Most of the players have been there. We've not had many in international duty. I know Miovski, Asgard, Cornelius, etc. A few of them been away, but the majority have stayed. So if we come out against Hearts, and so let's not underestimate Hearts as well, they'll come fancy themselves tomorrow at Ibrox to potentially go 9 points clear of Rangers, which is a frightening start at this time of the season. But he's got to get it right. We've got to see something tomorrow. But ultimately, he's got to win tomorrow. There's a bit of me, I want to see something tomorrow. I want to see a style of play. I want to see something. But ultimately, we need to win. So if we win a dirty 1-0 win tomorrow, I'll take it. And then we can build from it, because he has to go on a run of winning football matches. So tomorrow is really a do or die for him. I really do think, because the following week you've got Hibs come to Ibrox in the League Cup, and Hibs are going well too. So it's 2 massive games for Russell Martin.
Yeah, Ross, it can't be. It can't be underestimated how big tomorrow is for Russell Martin and his future as Rangers head coach. I need to keep getting into my head, keep saying manager. The future is Russell Martin being head coach. No manager can survive going the first 6 games without a win. There's no chance of that. He's not going to survive that. He has to win. In my opinion, tomorrow is really no excuse. I've seen people saying it in the chat already as well, that there is no excuses left. He's run out. This is the Russell Martin team. This is the squad that he's happy with. He said that he's happy with it. So it is now up to Russell Martin to get it correct. And the decision to not include Raskin in the squad may work in his favour. You never know. We might see a reaction from the players tomorrow, because he has stamped a wee bit of authority down on the team. But if it goes wrong, mate, same question to you. There's literally no hiding place for him.
No, none at all. 1978 to 79, if anyone's looking for stats, was the last time Rangers failed to win their opening 5 matches. So when last season,
my dad used to always tell me that Rangers in the 70s were bloody awful.
Aye, that honestly, that was, when I looked that up, I was like, obviously last season for breaking records, we were quite impressive for all the wrong reasons. So consistency is key, lads. Consistency is key. We're here for another season of it. But no, tomorrow is, as Ali says, do or die. Are we potentially in potential of, if we drop points, so is the league gone? Seriously, is the league gone? Because, but at the same time, it's about what we do as a team. But Celtic, I still can't see them dropping points for how bad they look. It's such a tricky way to see a way back if we drop points tomorrow. And the fact that we're sitting here on the 12th of September, and it almost seems like this is a new low for our league failures, because the last few seasons have been shocking, but this is already looking to top it off. So it needs to be 3 points. 3 points or nothing tomorrow. Hearts coming in a decent side, scoring a good few goals. Obviously, they're showing how they do it under a new manager. Obviously, McInnes coming in. So there's one rebuild going more successful than the other. So we'll see how that transpires tomorrow. But we need to ultimately. One thing that I harp on every week about is teams need to fear Rangers. Rangers should have an identity that players come to Ibrox or Rangers come to them, and you're expecting to lose. Teams fancy themselves against us just now. They really, really do, especially at their home turf. Look at us, St Mirren, for example. I never seen us winning there. I'll be honest, gents. I did not see us winning at all. So a team like Hearts, who are flying just now by the looks of it, they'll look at Ibrox and go, right, let's be having you. So it's all there for the team to do, all there for Russell Martin to try and cook up. But it is over to you, Rangers. I've said that only 20 minutes in, the phrases came out. It's over to you, Rangers. So yes, 3 points or nothing tomorrow.
Yeah, it just has to be. It really does. So we'll move on from the Raskin kind of situation. Obviously, we'll probably address it, I would imagine, further down the road as this seems to roll on and on. Ali, we'll speak about the players that were away in international duty and the ones that have made a bit of a mark anyway. Cornelius showing Tavernier how to hit a free kick. We're never going to be disappointed in that. An absolute peach of a finish for him, absolutely no doubt. Encouraged about him. And obviously Asgard getting 4 goals in 20 minutes. Was it 4 goals in 20 minutes? Is that right? When he was on the park for Norway. Players like Asgard, mate, this is now their time. And so we know they can do it. And we've been done it in the international scene. Again, level of opposition, I do understand. But still went and done it. We have to see that now transferred onto his form for the club, because he's not had a great start. No one really has, but it's time for these players to show something and the manager to show something. But obviously you've got Shamiti and Cornelius. They're the kind of 2 ones that we brought in on deadline day, mate. What do you see them starting tomorrow? Is it too early? Do you think they'll be faded in? Do you think one's a shoe on, one isn't?
Cornelius is a shoe in to start tomorrow. He'll start definitely. Chermiti, I think we'll see Chermiti off the bench tomorrow, and that's a kind of clue to what my team may be. But
I would start Majowski as well. I don't care how much it costs, mate. I'm going for Majowski to score.
No, Majowski starts for me, and I can see Chermiti maybe come off the bench. Cornelius, I think, definitely has to start. I want to see him. I'd love to know. I mean, it was some free kick he scored. Scoreship would probably know if he's scored free kicks like that before in his career. I don't know. I don't know if he is a guy that hits free kicks. I mean, we had Amaruso all 8 years ago would hit free kicks for us, but for every 1 goal he scored for a free kick, the 10 of them would end up over the Broomlow and whatever. So that's what Amaruso did. But it was some free kick from him, and I never knew he had that in his locker. So it's interesting to know if he actually can do that, or if that's just a one-off. So, but yeah, Asgard, you talked about Asgard there. Me and Ross both said, and I stuck with him last week, that he'd be our player of the season before the season kicked off. I really wanted to see him. From what I'd seen of him, good in the middle of the park, scored goals, good movement, good link up, and I've been disappointed with him. Again, he's come in at a bad time because it is a poor Rangers team at the moment. So him scoring 4 goals, I know it was against Moldova, but he still scored 4 goals in international duty in 20 minutes. You got to think he's going to come back buzzing, ready to go against Hearts. So he's the one I'm looking forward to see on Saturday, to see if he's what I think he is. So yeah, I thought international duty there was positives with guys we had away, and obviously Raskin, who's not going to be in the team tomorrow, but Asgard was a big one for me. I know he was obviously outshone by Haaland, scored 5 goals. When's the last time that happened? You scored 4 goals and a guy outshines you and scores 5. So
a guy gets man of the match over you and you scored 4.
No, I know it's mental, isn't it? But I don't see Chermiti starting tomorrow. I really don't. I think he'll come off the bench.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm in 2 minds about that, Ross. I hate the whole phasing players in thing, right? I can't stand it. Like, it's a game of football. It's not difficult. It's not a return to work. It's football. We have spent a lot of money on this guy. The deal worth up to about 10 million. It is a lot of money. What's your take, Jen? Cornelius is assuring to start, probably with Suter, imagine, at the back, because obviously I think Giger's struggled a bit. So I would imagine that Cornelius will come straight in because he looks ready, obviously, and obviously he had a good international break. But also have your say on Asgard, mate. I think it's time we see something from him. Yeah,
definitely. Quite on. I think first on Cornelius, I agree. I reckon he goes straight in there. You look at even like Suter and Cornelius playing good minutes for the national teams. I think Giga, I think he was an unused sub. So even from that point of view, they've played minutes in the last 2 weeks. So I can see them definitely coming in. It's good to have Cornelius' debut at home as well. I always feel that's quite nice having the first game at Ibrox. Yep. But what a free kick from the lad! What a free kick! And it turns out that I've seen him before. I've seen him play for Canada. I didn't realise it. It was the wee brother who pointed it out. I was like, oh, we've seen him play. I won't lie and say, oh, he's the best thing since sliced bread. But he picked up a yellow card whenever we saw him, which I think is quite a theme in his game. So we'll get used to that. But quickly on Asgard, I mean, I came in from football on Wednesday night, looked at the phone, and genuinely mouth-watering stuff. I watched back the highlights, and it it was interesting. You look at all 4 goals, obviously 1 goal being a penalty and a cracking penalty at that. All of them were relatively, they were in the box, close in the box. We've seen Asgard play in, more traditionally at a number 10. Obviously, saw him at striker. He was the kind of the when we played Sept, we saw him line up at striker. Like, right, what's this all about? You can maybe start to see why. In the box, he's a natural goal scorer. He gets into those positions well. Can I see him doing that in a Rangers team? Can I see him scoring that many in a Rangers team? I don't know, because I think by the looks of, obviously Norway are piling everybody forward, but I think Asgard was given a lot of freedom there. If he's got,
it was just very much on you go, mate. Just on you go and just do what you like, pretty much.
Quite right. By the way, quite right. They were there to be got at. I mean, not for the 11-1 game it was. Norway scored all 12. It was an own goal, so clinical on the day. Very, very clinical on the day. But he was, by the looks of it, he looks like if he's given that freedom in the box instead of maybe being more rigid to add number 10, that's what he can produce. So is that something that, could he be given a bit more of a free role? But then obviously if you are playing, there's potential 2 up top. How many you're going to have more men in the box than you'll have in your midfield at the end of the day. So it's trying to find that balance. But I thought it was quite interesting seeing that, when he's given that bit of a free role, that's what he can do. Again, on penalties as well, one thing we've lost with, and people might slightly flip things with Tom Lawrence, Hadji, Yilmaz, even players stepping up for a penalty. I'm not sure, Dessers as well. We've lost quite a few penalty takers. So at least now with Asgard coming in, that's somebody as well who, you can hopefully rely on, because Jigs, penalty kicks at the worst of times, are shocking. If you don't know who your penalty takers are going to be, they'll be even worse as a fan. So at least one now kind of get a wee bit of reassurance. Like, you've got Tav there, you've got, I'm sure Majovski will hit a pen, Asgard, etc.
I would say Cornelius would be hitting a penalty, mate, the way he's done that. Oh, by the way, I mean, generally, clearly can hit a ball, can't he? So
honestly, it's that for me is quite a subtle thing, but quite refreshing to see. So ultimately, it's an international duty that I believe nobody's came back injured from, and that's all we can ask for. A few goals, and no injuries. So it's a big thumbs up from me. And yes, Asgard. I might be enticed by the haircut one day. If he keeps pulling that up, I might need to have a word with the barber. But yes, very, very good performances all around.
Yeah, if he finishes the Scotland's top scorer, I'll convince Scotia to get his hair done at Asgard. I reckon we could convince Scott to do that. Just pack a couple of pints down Scotia and we'll convince him to do that, I reckon. Ali, Ross mentioned there about players getting the freedom, which obviously leads quite nicely into the Russell Martin, whatever it is, style of play that we have been witness to, or being forced to watch more like. Quite widely covered that there was a more pragmatic approach from Rangers in the Old Firm game. After watching the game back, you see players like Suter actually be able to ping long balls that actually came off. I was like, that's actually quite good. That worked. Is it crucial for Russell Martin to change it? Is it crucial for Russell Martin to change things up a bit? Are we going to see 2 up top? Will Shamiti and Majovski start together? Is that something that he should be looking at, in your opinion? Or do you think he's too far gone now and it will be plan A's to do plan B's to do plan A better?
I don't know. He did mention his presser today in terms of he's now got players in the door, which means he can mix it up when he couldn't mix up, you know what I mean? He did mention the back line in particular. Cornelius was the one that he says was versatile on the back line in terms of what we can play. We've talked about could we go at a 3 at the back? So he has mentioned that. He changed it slightly against Celtic. I expect us to go in against Hearts with the same formation he played against Celtic. I expect him to go with Diomande and Barnes sitting with Asgard in front. I think he'll do that again against Hearts. But he has said in his press conferences about changing. Scotia, no fucking chance. I want to know what beer Scotia's on over in Croatia. What's the beer over there? Aye, he's hinted at in press conferences, so he has said it. But we need to see it. It's interesting because we've spent the best part of, I don't know, £11 million or something in 2 strikers. and you've got to think we've got to find a way of getting them in the team. So, yeah, it'll be interesting how he fits day 2 in particular in the team, because Chermiti has to play. And I know folks say he's 21 years of age. That's pish that you've got to let him kind of settle into the team and all that. I mean, I think he will be in the bench more, not because he needs to settle into the team or anything. I just think he'll go Miovski. But going forward, I think you'll see Miovski and Chermiti in the team. So it'll be interesting how he does that. But yes, he has said at his press conferences, Carney. So if he doesn't do it, then he's a bit of a hypocrite, because he has said at his press conference, especially today, he did say it today in terms of the backline was the main one. He said that we have the players now to change formation within games.
Ross, what do you think? Do you think it's an initial lineup as you normally would? With what Ali said there, within games, he's to change formation. Did make me think a wee bit of the Lundstrom dropping into the back 5 thing that we've seen or the back 3, even that kind of thing that we've seen under Giovanni Van Bronckhorst. It did make me think of that. That maybe that's something that he is looking at. But is it crucial for Russell Martin to be flexible? Is in the fact that we did make slight changes against Celtic in the Old Firm? Has he now set a tone for himself that he can't really go back to whatever he was attempting to do before? Because none of us can really be sure what he was trying to attempt before. But is it crucial for him to be flexible? Is it crucial for him to make these changes? Because surely if he does go back to what he was trying to do, this only ends one way for him. Even though I still think this does still only end one way for him. But you know what I mean.
No, I do. For the sake of his job, he needs to. He literally needs to, because he's got, in the stands, 50,000 folk who aren't keen on him in the first place. So if he doesn't change it at all, then I don't think that's gonna change the folks in the stands. I think with playing 2 up front, my ears did, they did listen out whenever they said that. I do like the sound of it. I think if Chermiti does start tomorrow, it maybe tells you that it wasn't all Thelwell. It's maybe, he did generally want him. I reckon it could be quite revealing tomorrow if he starts that he's a Russell Martin signing, Chermiti. So I'd love to see him start. He seems quite keen on them. He said that he's not even given the chance, Chermiti. So will he get a first start at Ibrox? I think there's a lot of folks saying that for £8 million, you blooming right he will be, because that's a ridiculous amount of money. But I do get where Ali's coming from. I do quite like to see. I would quite like to see Miovski as well from the start at number 9 as well. So it's a nice headache to have at the end of the day. Having a few strikers there that you're quite excited to see. I wonder how Miovski and Chermiti will get on. I think we've got a real player at the hands of Miovski. Will he be hindered by another guy there? I'm not sure. I didn't have a look, but I'm not sure if he played 2 up top up at Aberdeen. I genuinely no clue.
Very rarely, no.
So it'll be quite interesting to see how they get on. But it's from a Russell Martin point of view. I hope the homework's been done. I do hope the homework's been done, because it needs to. We need to see something fresh, something exciting, and something in the first half. I'll say that, something in the first half. The amount of times it either takes us, either 2 goals down or 60 minutes in to get something from the off would be splendid. But what that is, I'm not sure. I'd like to see 2 up top though, mate. I won't lie. If we see 2 up top, I will be quite an excited lad.
Yeah, if I see both of them starting in the same team, and obviously the rest of the team, you can kind of make the assumption that we are changing formation, then of course I'll be excited to see it, because I've not been excited since really day one in terms of what we did see with the kind of formation they went with before. It'll be interesting to see if he does completely change it or continue on with the same style as Ali mentioned from the Old Firm. But I think it's crucial for him. I do. I think it can't be underestimated for him that he has to loosen his I don't know, his arrogance, his ignorance, his whatever you want to call it, to stick to this continued game plan that clearly isn't working. He's got an opportunity now, Ali, with an opportunity, well, I think we can class it as an opportunity, but to somehow steer this train in the right direction. I don't know how quite he's going to do it, because it's went a long way off track for me. We haven't seen anything of the likes of what we maybe had expected to have seen. or at least a kind of upturn in some form of performance. It's very much getting worse. We're not, as I say, we're not getting better. I say, and I'm not glorifying the old firm, and I don't mean to sound like I am by referencing the game as if it was a good performance from Rangers, because I don't. I think Rangers were poor. We didn't get a shot on target at home against Celtic. It's literally unacceptable. You can't win a league like that. You literally can't. But now, Ali, he was the one that's made the point. Russell Martin's made the point of saying it's going to be not better, but not the exact words, but he'll know who's committed once the window's closed. They will have players' heads not being turned, etc., etc. The excuses are done now. They literally are. He was last chance saloon a while ago for a lot of people, and he's probably living on borrowed time as well for the majority of Rangers fans, really. I think the majority of Rangers fans would say that he is living on borrowed time. Now, as I say, tomorrow, there is literally no excuse with a Hearts team that will be coming here fancying it, mate. This is a Derek McInnes Hearts side that are going to be absolutely up for this. Derek McInnes will have these players ready to go. He'll have figured something out. He'll have sorted it. He'll know exactly how he's going to line up, what he's going to do. And it won't take long for Ibrox to become frustrated tomorrow. Say after 20 minutes, we've still not a shot on target and Hearts are dominating the ball. Ibrox won't become a very pleasant place very quickly. So Russell Martin, it just can't be underestimated. And I don't think it has been over the top. Tomorrow is the biggest game in his managerial career, especially his managerial career as a Rangers manager. Head coach, God's sake, I need to stop doing that.
Yeah, if we're going to see tomorrow if he's learned anything. He's playing against a Derek McInnes team. Derek McInnes, who knows how to set up against Rangers, knows how to get the crowd at Ibrox ruffled in terms of he'll come. I don't think they'll set Hearts to a point, but they'll come to frustrate us. I think frustrate the support, and he knows that can seep into the players in the park. Probably Hearts are going well this year. You got to give Hearts credit, and you can tell they're playing for their manager as well. They've won. I think they've won 2 games in the last minute. Hearts. They won, I'm trying to think who it was, they won one the other week, 3-2 against St Mirren, and they won another game in the last minute. And you can just tell that they're playing for McInnes. And I always thought when McInnes went to Hearts, kind of perfect team for him, if you want to say, because he couldn't do anything much with Kilmarnock. He's going to Hearts. They've got a reasonable budget below Rangers and Celtic. So he's doing well with them. He'll fancy it. But Russell Martin's got to learn. He's got to learn about teams like Hearts, Company Ibrox. And over the years, we've had a decent record against Hearts. If you look back over the years, we have had a decent record against Hearts at Ibrox. But this is a completely different Rangers team. You're on mute there, Karen. Did you say something?
I heard Chris Jackson this morning on the review that it's been 4,000 days since Hearts beat Rangers at Ibrox.
Yeah. Well, like I said, we've always had a good
that was
record.
I know that's a lot.
Yeah, it's probably a kiss of death as well. But
yeah, exactly. Well, he's like that. Chris Jack, he tends to give everything a kiss of death, doesn't he?
Aye, the Grim Reaper. But aye, so but this is a different Rangers team at the moment. It's a Rangers team that really lacks confidence. Don't look like scoring at all. Russell Martin can come out and tell us all the piss he wants in terms of how many shots Rangers have had. They've had the most shots in the league, which isn't true. Hearts have had the most shots in the league, but Hearts are sitting top of the league because they've put them in the back of the net. We've not even close to scoring goals. We've scored penalties, set pieces, etc. We just don't look like scoring an open play. He's got to change that tomorrow. We've got 2 really good wingers and a really good striker. We've got to use these guys. We've got to get the ball out to them. So it's massive tomorrow in terms of what we see, because if we go to Ibrox tomorrow and I meet you at half time and we're looking at each other saying the same old thing again, you're going to be saying, where do we go for here? So it's massive tomorrow for him because we really need to see something. But as I said, at the same time, if Rangers are crap tomorrow but they win, I'll take it, because we need to win football matches. We really need to start winning football matches. A performance tomorrow, goals would be absolutely brilliant. A couple of goals from Miovski and Chermiti would be absolutely outstanding. But if we go and win 1-0, I'll still take it, because we have to win games of football. It's about winning games of football. Yeah, I want to do it in style, but if he can win tomorrow and start to build, his problem, Russell Martin, is he has to win. We talked about he's probably got to win and I can't see it. He's probably got to win every game up to we play Celtic in January.
Spot
Because
on,
the
mate.
problem is if he goes in a run of 3 games, let's say, wins them, but then gets beat, he gets hit with
You're
a bat
back to
again.
square. Yeah,
You're
yeah,
back to
exactly.
square one. That's the problem. And it was the same thing with Clement. So he's got to go on a run, and a big run of winning games, and it starts tomorrow for him.
Ooh, pressure is on. That's for absolutely sure. He's not getting any respite off us, but neither does he deserve it. Let's be honest. Yeah, Ross, look, it's a Hearts team that are going to fancy it coming here, and I've seen people in the chat saying, and I get this, I understand, we're not getting Service Ali made reference to it there, we're not getting shots on target, that's not happening. If we change our formation with 2 strikers on the pitch, you have to change how you're playing. You can't continue to play the same way with a completely change in formation. Whether he's brave enough to do that, I'm not sure. I think it would be a... Would it be a brave call? Probably not. It would be something that probably worked in his favour, I would think, because everyone would think, right, you're trying something different, and I'd imagine we would play better because the players would maybe, I think, just simplifying the football a little bit, loosening up this kind of strict style system football that he has, and just letting players create. Don't take away players' creative ability to see things and to take risks and to take that player on and not think, oh, hang on, I need to stop and play this ball back the way, or hang on, I need to play that ball this way or that way. Instead of thinking, I'm looking at that man thinking, I can take you on and I can beat you. We'll take him on and beat him. As Ali mentioned, we've got 2 really good wingers, Gassam and Ant-Man both. I'm excited. Ant-Man needs to refine the fire that we've seen from him from the very start. However, I blame Russell Martin for training that out of him. But if we do go with like Chermiti and Miovski up front, then it will have to change how we play football, which leans me more to wanting to do it. But what's your thoughts ahead of Hearts coming to Ibrox tomorrow?
I won't lie and say they're quite nervy. I've been saying that throughout the week. It's just it's probably came at the worst time that we're playing a team on form like Hearts at Ibrox. It's the sort of game that, you know, at Tynecastle we've actually done quite well recently, so I would have actually preferred it up there. I'm not sure. But listen, you've got to play what's in front of you, and 3:00 on a Saturday. There's only one place to be, and we will be there. So I'm looking forward to it. I think, but I think you make a good point. The quality's there. The quality is there. As much as I want to see Russell Martin change up, I want to see the players play with a bit of confidence. Yes, at the end of the day, the manager's telling them what to do. The players can go out there and one example for me is Gassam. Literally, the boy goes out there. He looks absolutely fearless. I reckon if Russell Martin does say anything to him, he just right, okay, but he does his thing. He plays his game. See if the majority of players can do that and just do their thing. Obviously, don't just turn against the manager as much as I'm sure I thought we give him a lot of praise for that. Just go out there and play your game. Play your game. That's all we can ask for. And that's what I'd like to see. Even like Lyle Cameron seems to do that. He just seems to have that wee bit of swag about him. That wee bit of something. Miovski as well. I do think as much as he's probably more experienced, maybe a bit more mature, he does have that bit of just a wee bit of energy. So seeing that blend throughout the whole team is because obviously we can blame the manager all we want, and rightly so. But the players as well, I think, should probably be given a wee bit of acknowledgement as well, and go right. You've got it, lads. You've got it. Go out and win now. I don't want to keep cheerleading them. I'm trying to talk myself into a positive performance tomorrow. But long story short, looking forward to it, mate. I'm looking forward to it. Back to the football. So yes, let's be having you.
Yeah, Saturday 3:00. You're always going to look forward to it. You are always going to look forward to it, except from Ali's driving in Scotia's and Croatia. So I'm not as looking forward to it as I usually would. However, I'll still go for a couple of beers. But you say I'm looking forward to seeing if there is a reaction. Am I looking forward and confident the Rangers are going to show up and put a performance in? Absolutely not. And I would be lying if I sat here and said that I did think that. I don't. I think it's going to be a grind, if anything, and it will depend about 1:45 tomorrow, 2:00 tomorrow, when I see the starting lineup, about how he's going to approach things and what he's going to do, about how I'll feel when I'm actually heading towards the stadium. So yeah, it looks a massive day for Rangers, and it's a massive day for Russell Martin, especially tomorrow, to get this right and to get a win. Like Ali was saying, Rangers have to win. I'm not sure if a scrappy, dull game and Rangers scrape a win. I get what you mean when you start winning games, but it won't do any favours for Russell Martin at all. It really won't. We'll be expecting more. The Ibrox crowd is expectant now. We are expecting to see something. We're expecting to see honestly a complete upturn in what we've seen previously. I think there has to be. I really do. I think Rangers have to show, for a solid hour tomorrow, at least an idea of where we're going and what we're doing. And Russell Martin has to start at that to see if he can somehow convince the 99.9%, I would imagine. I don't know. Not speaking on behalf of Rangers fans, but I don't know how many, but I've not spoke to many Rangers fans that want to keep him on as the head coach. So it's a huge day for him. On that, Alistair, we will go with our team predictions and we'll go with our scores as well, what we think the score will be tomorrow. So I'll give you the honour, mate, the honour of picking your team and giving me your prediction for tomorrow. You can be as honest as you like about your prediction as well, mate.
Yeah. And on the me talking about Rangers getting a scrappy 1-0. Like I say, I want to see a performance tomorrow. I know
yeah, of course.
a couple of folk in the comments maybe take my comments wrong, but I want to see a performance for Rangers. I want to see an identity. I want to see us moving forward. But at the end of the day, we need to win games of football. We need as a football team, we need to show we can win games of football. Celtic and their fans bang on about how poor they are this season, but they're winning games of football. I'd rather be in their position than us at the moment because they're winning games of football. So, yeah, I hope we see a performance. And do I think he's going to change the shape? Do I think he'll go to a 3 at the back? No, I don't. Like I say, I think he'll start similar to the Celtic game. And I didn't think we were great in the Celtic game, Carney. Like you say, we really didn't create much chances. But yes, Hearts are going well, but no disrespect to Hearts. Rangers should be beating Hearts at Ibrox. Look at the players the money we've spent this summer, we should be beating Hearts at Ibrox. So, Butler in the goal, Tavernier at right back, because Aaron's for me gets nowhere near that team. Maybe in terms of the back line, I know you guys are saying Suter, Giga for me on the right side, Cornelius on the left, Magoma at left back, who I think's been not bad, to be honest, so far. Kind of 3 in the middle, I think he'll stick with Barron because obviously Raskin's not there. So it'll be Barron. I think he deserves to start after his Old Firm performance. So Barron, Diamande, Asgard, what I say, I'm looking forward to seeing Asgard tomorrow. And then the top line, I think it'll be Gassam on the left, Ant-Man on the right, who's been disappointing, but then again, is Russell Martin coaching that out of him because when he arrived on the scene, he came with a bang, and Miovski through the middle. That's my team. And I'm going to go, let's go, I know it's been semi-negative tonight, but let's go positive at the end. Russell Martin will get his first win as Rangers manager tomorrow, and it'll be 2-0 Rangers, Miovski, first goal scorer.
You're on to plums if you think we're not conceding a goal tomorrow, mate. We will concede tomorrow. That is absolute one thing for certain. Well, mate, I love the positivity. I'll drink it in. I'll take a bit of it.
A clean sheet against Celtic, Carney.
Yeah, that's true. But again, mate, it was one of the worst Old Firms you're ever going to see in your life. It really was. It was atrocious. They were playing without a striker, so it wasn't a recognised striker anyway. It wasn't great. What you picked is what I think the team will be. I would love for him to change it. I really would. I would love to play 3 at the back. I'd like Giga, Suter and Cornelius at the back. And then I would have the same midfield 3. And I would basically be going up, 3-2-1-2-2 is basically what I would be doing. I would be having Shermiti and Miovski on the pitch at the same time. I would have Ant-Man on the right. I'd have Gassam on the left. Midfield 3, I think, will be the same. And yeah, I would go with 3 at the back. I wouldn't play Tavernier or Magoma, and it's no disrespect to them. It's just I want to see something different. I really do. And yeah, I think if that is a real sign of attacking intent, and we need some attacking intent bloody desperately. We really do. However, the team that you picked is what I do think will end up being the team. Tomorrow, I'm going to go for I'll be positive too. Slightly less positive than Arsenal, but I'll go 3-2 to Rangers.
Oh, God.
And I'll go Majovski to score first. So, but yeah, I think it all depends and see how he lines up, mate. I don't want to sit and for my own fucking mental health, I don't want to sit and go like it's going to be one each again. Like it's just going to be a one each draw. It's going to be the same thing that we've seen over and over again. I am desperate for there to be a change. I'm absolutely desperate for there to be a change in this because I just can't sit and watch it all over again. I want to be right that I think there's a massive change coming, but I think I will be wrong. As I say, head says one thing, heart says another. But I'll go for a Rangers win tomorrow. Please win the game of football tomorrow, Rangers. Ross, your starting 11, your score prediction, please.
I'm going Scotland in goal, back four of Tav, Suter, Cornelius, Magoma. And then I'm not going to lie to you, the rest of there's 6 players on a sheet of paper here. I don't know where they play, but I think this is who it's going to be. Genuinely, as
No
you
football
say,
manager here, Ross. Christ.
Honestly, don't tempt me. I give it a go. I would give it a go. I'm going Baron, Diamande, Asgard, Gisama, Miovski, Chermiti. So 2 up top, and then work the rest around there. I think Asgard said that he liked to play a left-sided number 8. So whether you even play, Gisama more to the right, Asgard to the left, and then Conor Barron seems like he can get all the way around the pitch. Like I was Diamande to be fair, Diamande does a good bit of leg work. So I'd be going with that team again. As I say, try to put a number on it. Apologies, that's out of my skill set. I need to brush up on my tactician knowledge. But I'm going 2-1 Rangers, 2-1 Rangers, and Miovski first goal scorer. We'd love to see it. We would love to see it. So yes, positivity all around. You can't beat it.
You cannot beat it. Yeah. Actually, we've all got to hope, I suppose, really, that we're all wrong about the doubts that are niggling at the back of our head that we are going to see something completely different from Rangers tomorrow when Russell Martin's finally going to show something as Rangers head coach. But obviously, based on previous evidence that is there isn't much to support that argument. But I think just for my own sake, I'm thinking, right, be as positive as we can be. We'll go to the game, and then 10 minutes in, I'll be going, why did I come to Ibrox? Why am I sitting watching this again? But yeah, I hope I'm wrong. I genuinely hope I'm wrong. That'll do us for tonight. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Really do appreciate you joining us for tonight. Alistair, thank you very much, mate. And 3 o'clock on a Saturday, mate, and you're not going to the pub. You're just a different man, mate. I don't even know who you are anymore.
No, well, you can blame my missus for going to a wedding over a full weekend, so that is the reason I'm not. But I will be having a few beverages for the Hibs game afterwards, so don't worry, I'll be out for that one. Mr. Gemmell will be back too, so yes, if she was here, I would be there, Canny, don't worry. But Big Stu is taking Scotia's seat tomorrow, as you know, Stu Canny. Stu's probably one of the most positive guys I know. Always can see a positive and a negative. So I spoke to him today. He's looking forward to going tomorrow, and obviously he knows it's been quite toxic at Ibrox. So I think he's going to bring his positivity tomorrow. So hopefully Stu can bring us a bit of luck tomorrow at Ibrox. But it's over at the team tomorrow, Can. It's over at Russell Martin. I agree with you. I'd love to go 2 o'clock. We look at our phones and the team comes out, and it is something like you just said there, a 3-5-2, and you go, he's mixed up. He's going for it. New players in the team. I'd love to see something like that. Do I think we're going to see it? No, I don't think so. But if we did, I think it would give us a buzz as a support going to the ground, a lift. But it's over to these players. It's over to the team tomorrow. And it's over to Russell Martin. He's got to win tomorrow against Hearts, and ideally put a show on for us too.
Yep, I completely agree. Ross, thank you very much for joining us, mate. And you've got a new video out on Monday, mate. Is that correct?
Yes, so unfortunately, it was planned on coming out this evening, folks. If anyone was kind of active on the socials, there's been a bit of technical difficulties, copyright claims, etc. But my IT team are working on it as we speak. So yes, I'll say that. But yes, eyes peeled next few days. A big video coming out. So yes, thank you. But yes, thank you for tonight, mate. That was good. Let's just tomorrow it's the start of, you know, a new few weeks for Rangers. You know, international break's done. We're back to it for a few weeks. A big run of games coming. Let's kick it off with 3 points. Let's kick it off with 3 points. And as you say, a Miovski goal. I'd love to see that. So yes, hope everyone enjoys our weekend, and we shall speak to you very soon.
Yes, I hope this is the start of the next chapter in Russell Martin's Rangers head coach career, which is ridiculous saying it as early as it is in this season, but we all agree that there's nothing but 3 points is really going to be acceptable tomorrow, and he has to go on a run of games, and they're saying it has to start with Hearts tomorrow. It really is as simple as that. Again, thank you everybody for tuning in. Make sure you go over to Ross's channel. It's just Ross McLean on YouTube. Go check it out. His stuff is great. I've been fortunate enough to see the video. His stuff's class, man. He really is. The reason I got him on a free transfer before he gets too big for this podcast, but his stuff is absolutely superb, so go and check that out on Monday when it drops. Actually, we'll be back tomorrow. I'll probably be me, actually. Probably just me tomorrow. I'll be back with a reaction after the game. I win, lose or draw, and I very much hope you see me smiling. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, all the usual stuff, and at least I will speak to you tomorrow. We are Club at 22, the Rangers podcast. Cheers everybody, good night.